So now you've seen two examples that I've done with you. Here's another one. All right, now my suggestion would be that you go ahead and you try this on your own before listening to me explain the rest of the problem. So maybe write this down in your notebook and then see if how you solved it matches with how I'm going to explain it. Okay? So in this situation here, we have 4y minus 1 equals negative 13, which means 4 times y minus 1. So we're taking 4, we would multiply it by y, which is our missing value or the missing number. Then we would subtract 1. When we do all that, we should get a negative 13. So how do we solve this problem? We go ahead and we look for the addition or the subtraction first. So let's go find that. Now when we look at this problem, we see, again, it's 4 times y minus 1. So we have to use the inverse operation of subtraction. So the inverse operation is addition. So instead of subtracting 1, we need to now add 1 to the left-hand side and add 1 to the right-hand side. If I add 1 to the left-hand side, what happens to the minus 1 and the plus 0? Which means I'm left with 4y. And I need to go ahead and then add 1 to the right-hand side. We have to be fair. What property is this? It's the addition property of equality. That is why I am allowed to add the 1 to both sides of the equation. Remember, when something is an equation, both sides are equal or balanced. And in order to keep that balance, if I do something to the left-hand side, I have to do the same thing to the right-hand side to be fair. So back to the problem. Now we have 4 times y equals negative 13 plus 1. What is negative 13 plus 1? We're adding 1 to a negative number to try to make it become more positive or closer to 0 in this case. So negative 13 plus 1 is negative 12. Now our problem is a one-step equation. 4 times y equals negative 12. What do? Well, we think about the inverse operation of multiplication. The inverse operation of multiplication is, as you've guessed before, division. So now I need to divide both sides of this equation by a number. What is that number? The coefficient to the variable. So in this case, it's 4 times y. So the coefficient is 4. We need to divide both sides by 4. If we divide 4 by 4, we get 1. Now remember, we don't need to write the 1 in front of the y. If we wanted to, we could, but we don't need it. Again, we're trying to look for the value of y. If you put a 1 in front, it's just 1 times y, which would just leave you with y. So now, if I divide the left-hand side by 4, I have to divide the right-hand side by 4. So negative 12 divided by 4, is it positive or negative? It should be negative. Negative 12 divided by 4 will leave us with a negative 3. So now, did we do this correctly? Well, we need to check. Again, to check, I suggest that you put parentheses where the y is. Take out the y and substitute it with what we solved for. We solved for y and got negative 3. So now we have 4 times negative 3 minus 1. The question is, will it give us a negative 13? We follow order of operations. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12 minus 1. Is negative 12 minus 1 negative 13? Well, negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. So now you have the answer. You know that y is equal to negative 3. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you have any other questions, make sure to send me an email. I will also try to put a written explanation in case the video wasn't helpful enough.